Hi, I'm Don Hudnall in Louisiana. A little bit about myself, a little bit of background is I have a degree in toxicology, which I used in my first jobs. My first job out of college was subcontracted to the Environmental Protection Agency, investigating uncontrolled hazardous waste sites, dressing up in the moonsoons, taking samples, looking for various chemicals, ranking different sites to be cleaned up. So the worst ones would be cleaned up first. After that, I went to work for Bell Helicopter Textron, and it's in the word helicopter. That's what we built, was helicopters, military and civilian helicopters. That was the bulk of my career. I was there almost 18 years. I really enjoyed it. Some really good people working there with me, and so I was in the safety department. Normally people don't like the safety department, so I liked it, and the employees seemed to recognize it and did a lot of good things, enough to where the actual operations folks at Bell Helicopter gave me this. And that never happens. Normally people hate those in the safety department. It worked out pretty well. I really liked it. But there did come a time when I had to move on from there. My wife and I moved back to Louisiana to be closer to both our families here in the same town as they got older and we could settle down here a little more. Took on various other jobs, such as working at Fox and NBC television as a salesperson. Also became president of a local art gallery after I started my own pottery business, hand-throwing pottery. So I did that for a while. Also worked labor, night stocking at a local hobby place. Also owned my own business for a while, for about 5 years, a vending business where I would take chips and snacks and candy and stock machines in manufacturing places, things like that. So I've done a variety of jobs, a variety of experiences. But I'm more than this. I'm really more than just this person in a suit. I'm more than that. Starting out, being born, I had memories from before I was born. I always had them. And I forced myself to remember. So this veil of forgetting that happens that some people talk about, I didn't fully forget. I was also born telepathic and empathic and picked up astral travel. Then had a near-death experience. And then a walk-in experience. All this by puberty. We even lived in a haunted house. But you know, at that young age, this is normal. All things moving around in the house, dark entities outside the window. This is normal. This is growing up every day human. This kind of stuff is normal.
Do what? Normal is boring.
Okay, maybe a little eccentric.
Just a little eccentric. You haven't seen me playing in the dirt.
And yes, that is what I'm like when I work at the homestead, which is a pink house on a dead-end road on an island in the middle of nowhere, Louisiana. So yeah, that's me. But this is me too. So multiple versions of me, I suppose. Anyway, what I would like to talk to you about is something that I guess I'm a little passionate about because for so very long, I was alone. And no, I really wasn't alone. I just didn't know it at the time. That there's a lot of people out there just like you. There are a lot of people out there that just haven't come forward. And yeah, there are a variety of reasons for not coming forward. I get it. I really do. For me, it began in that haunted house. After we moved out, another couple moved in with a boy my age into the room that I was in. And he saw these dark entities outside the window and things happening within the house and didn't keep quiet about it. And his parents had him committed to a nearby asylum. I believe at that time it was the largest asylum in the United States. It was called Central Asylum in Louisiana. So seeing that, it's like, this is what happens if you talk about it. So no, it's like started getting the first impression of, okay, no, I don't think so. Stay quiet. And then becoming a teenager and trying to talk about some of this because you're a teenager. I mean, really. So you try to talk about this and prove it to people, and then stuff happens and they freak out and run away. Because at that time, there was no internet, no cell phones, no personal computers. This information was not readily available, readily available at that time. And then for me, the final kicker was in college when I was 19 or 20. Saw an event happening remotely, reaching out telepathically, trying to help, and it made things worse. A lot worse. And I was only trying to help. And it made things a lot worse. And after that happened, I feel guilty. And it's like, I am not talking to anybody. This is all a coincidence. It's not real. It never stopped. So I really had to separate the 3D physical world, career, job, life, wife, with my crazy little world and the things that continue to happen and keep it bottled inside till I was 56 years old. Yeah, I know, you're yelling at me now, saying you should never keep things bottled inside. But you know, we all do. This or that, to some extent. We all do, even though you try not to. And this stuff can be so far out there. I get it, if this is you, that you may have reasons for keeping it hidden for so long, but things are different now. People are much more open to it. There's a big spiritual awakening going on. This consciousness that seems to be growing between people. More of an ability to understand. Go! I never have the right words. I'm not a teacher. There are a lot of the galactic ambassadors, mentors that are out here. So many people that have learned from gurus and things. I didn't have a teacher or physical guide, someone to help me with all of this. So I just talk. I'm just talking to you. Just like you. Learning, trying to figure it out. And maybe that's where you could help me. Maybe that's where you could help someone else. Because that's what I get the most from people is when they're just talking. Sometimes it's hard for me to understand a formal presentation. It's so much that I don't understand that I can only grasp a little bit of it. But when I sit down with somebody and just chat and just talk to them, just a regular talk about some of the telepathic or psychic experiences you've had, it helps me to understand just with someone talking. And that's where you can help perhaps someone else. You know, you're learning once you start opening up, have a one-on-one conversation with somebody, even just on a small little subject, just start opening up a little bit. You're not just helping yourself, maybe you're helping them, because it sure helps me when I'm just listening to people talk. I have been involved on Zoom meetings and different seminars. But like I said, the formal presentations, I get it and then get off the seminar and it just goes right over my head or it just leaks out of my ears and I really don't know. That's my catchphrase is I don't know. Because I don't. I'm still learning. But when there's a Zoom meeting and people just get on and just have a normal conversation and just start talking, you know, sometimes we don't do things right. I certainly don't do things right all the time. And it makes me feel a little more normal. Normal. Yeah. Normal. There it is again. A little less eccentric maybe. All right. So you can be a little eccentric and still be normal. Yeah. But how do you even start talking to somebody? I bet there's somebody that you know that had said something along these lines before. Something that seemed a bit far-fetched, far out there, a little spacey or something. Yeah, you can open up and share one small experience with them. Just open up a little conversation about one topic of your experience. Share your experience. And that's the whole thing, is sharing. Just share your experience. Something else you can do too is there are a lot of online meetings out here, these Zoom meetings and things. You can search on the internet. This Galactic Alliance, there are a lot of subcategories, whether it's starseeds or walk-ins or psychic things, soul retrieval, ghosts, things like that. A lot of individual groups. They're all over the place. Near-death experiencers, Uh, um, ET experiencers with extraterrestrials. There are a lot of groups out there, whatever your experience is. And you can join these groups, and it's free. There are even apps for your mobile device available that are free. And so you can download it, search for these various groups that may hold an interest for you, and join the group. Again, it's free. Why not? Once you're in there, you can just listen. And eventually there may become a point where you can direct message someone and have a one-on-one conversation with someone. And once you feel relaxed enough, you may be able to speak to the group. Maybe not as a formal presentation at first, but just start talking and start feeling more relaxed, because everyone I've met in this field, any of these fields, and it's a lot of fields that relate to me, it seems like, but they're amazing. And I haven't been involved in any negativity on any one of them. People may have had a negative experience or a bad experience, but they can share that. It's not personal to anyone particular. It's just they're sharing an experience. And this is what's happened to me. And it's amazing how many other people have had similar experiences. I guess if I had something to say about all of it so far, if it was somebody new, feeling alone and wanting to jump into this world and not feel alone, I guess what I would say is, don't be afraid. It's going to be okay. It's getting a little cool. Get something a little more warm on. We're talking to you. All right, better. Anyway, all those ideas, that's not actually what I did. I have had a lot of experiences, almost daily in some cases, just a lot of various experiences. What I did was a bit different. Figures, huh? Figures? Bit different. I just pulled out my mobile phone and started recording videos. That's what I did. Back in 2019, I started getting these impressions and concepts in my head of put videos out of your experiences. Share them, basically. I refused. I was nervous. I'm not in this field. I'm alone. What are people going to think? Lock me away, put me in a straitjacket into an asylum because of what happened and I saw in my childhood. So I put them on a smaller video site, and then I started just recording videos. And I started learning again, going through another learning process, more trial and error, and the world started opening up. And then I heard the word starseed for the first time. And then I joined my first Zoom meeting. I'm not alone. I joined my first Zoom meeting. I was nervous. Boy, was I nervous. So very nervous. I didn't know what Zoom was. I thought maybe they could hear me speak. I didn't know there was a mute function. This was a formal presentation, so I wasn't even on camera. I had nothing to worry about. There was no worry whatsoever. All the microphones were muted. All the cameras were muted. It was just a formal presentation coming through. There was nothing to worry about. Next, I joined another group. More Zoom meetings. And this time, there were some cameras, but you can keep your camera turned off. You don't have to reveal yourself yet if you're uncomfortable about that. And just keep your camera off and just listen. And it's okay. There's a chat section. If somebody says something that you relate to, you can chat with them. Start off small. And that's what I did. Once I found these groups, started off small and started chatting, and then opened up from there. And don't worry about what people are going to think. It's natural to feel that way. I did. So it's natural. So if you get on these meetings and get out there and you start speaking, don't worry if you speak 1,000 miles per hour and don't even know what you said after you said it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Somebody had asked, I had shared one of my experiences just briefly, and they wanted to know more, and I was so nervous. I spoke so fast. Then after it was over, what did I just say? God, what happened? What just happened? Oh my gosh. I was so nervous. It gets better. And you know what? Everybody understood because everybody's been in the same situation. Everybody understood. And they started opening up and sharing experiences about their first time to open up and what happened and how nervous they were. It's okay. It's all okay. It's going to be okay. So go ahead. Feel free to start opening up. You don't have to be alone. And I know what that's like to be alone for so very long. There's no need for it anymore. It's time. It is time. Time to come out of the closet. Time to help others by sharing your experiences. And I can kick things off on sharing experiences. I mentioned that in 2019, this concept images was saying, put videos out of your experiences. Do it now. The do it now got very loud, and I had to. So in November 2019, I put out my very first Strange Happening. That's what I called it, Strange Happenings. I was alone. I didn't know what else to call it. So Strange Happenings. Put out my first one. And I used a very small video site based out of the United Kingdom because I was nervous. But you can find it at bitshoot.com/Don Hednell. You'll also find videos of generally country boy and things I do. But you'll find all my Strange Happening ones out there. If you're not comfortable using a smaller video site like that, I finally uploaded only the Strange Happening videos to YouTube. So you can go to that popular video site, YouTube, and search Don Hednell, and you'll find me there. I have grouped some playlists into like psychic stuff, guidance type stuff, different things. I even have playlists saying like the first set of videos, the second set of videos, so you can watch them in sequential order, going from number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can follow my journey as I'm learning. The first 53, I'm alone in the dark. I am creating videos for a nephew or a niece in case they have a child and they're born crazy like me. So that's who I'm talking to, is a future relative, a future family member. Now I'm realizing I think everybody's a family member. We're all family. So for a family member, in that Christmas of 2019, all my family got copies of videos on a flash drive, because that's what I'm thinking it's for. I didn't realize it was helping me to understand and grow and find others like me. So hopefully these will help you so you can look at them. But if you want to follow that, just watch them number 1 through the end of the Strange Happenings, and you can see the growth that one person who was alone in the dark went through. What happened, the way it worked for me to get to this point. You can also look on Rumble. There's rumble.com/Don Hednell. I put the Strange Happenings there as well. Actually, they're automatically uploaded from YouTube over there. So made it easy. But those experiences are out there. And what kind of experiences? Experiences like my memories from before I was born, starseed type experiences, telepathic type experiences, even just relating, how I even had one person tell me, what are you doing? Are you reading my mind? Telling me that directly to my face, then I lost that friend. So this is real world stuff that actually happened, trying to learn and grow through trial and error without a teacher. Empathic experiences, very experiences, feeling what's happening to a person and finding out later that that thing actually happened. Seeing into the astral, doing lost soul retrieval before I even knew what it was. Just having these, what I call dark entities, teaching me how to do certain things, and then later finding out this was just family teaching me lessons, just teaching me how to do this, showing me how. Because I didn't have a physical teacher like this, so they were helping me. And you'll see that if you watch these videos. There's some clairaudience stuff in there, and these are experiences that I've gotten confirmation from, that I'm talking on a video that it actually happened, like one of the clairaudience events that happened, and then my mother sees the video, gets chills across her skin, and then tells me that what I was hearing and seeing in my mind actually occurred in the river in front of the homestead, what I call the pink house. It actually occurred there. So I've gotten confirmation from all of this. And something else you might notice that seems a bit weird is, at least in one or two of the videos, I call it backward learning. At least for me, I don't know about you, but at least for me, it seems like I have these experiences and then I find out or get confirmation that it happened, or this is the thing that came in my mind, this is the way I'm seeing things. Like an example, one event seeing waves of light moving through the universe's consciousness, and it has something to do with gravity. And then reading it in a book. And I've got it on video first, before I know anything from anything. And this is what I'm seeing and feeling, and then reading it. And then getting other confirmation from other people in these Zoom meetings saying, yes, they've heard about this noetic science stuff or whatever. And they've heard about this. And yeah, it seems to be confirming all of this. So something I call backward learning. I seem to have these experiences first and then find out about it later, that this is a real thing. It's kind of odd. But I hope by sharing these experiences you won't feel alone, that you'll feel more comfortable sharing your experiences and helping someone else. Because every time I hear from someone else, it helps me. It helps me feel less alone. It helps me feel more normal. There it is again. Less eccentric. So I'd love to hear from you one day, whoever you are, because I really like just to hear people's stories. And I like, and it's not stories. Don't hate, but when people say, I want to hear your stories, like I just said, it's not. This is real. This is your experiences. They're not stories. It's not fake. These are your experiences. They're real. Oh, and see right there? See right there? Pet peeve, stories. Stories. It's not a story. It's real. It's not a pet peeve, really. It's just like it just caught my attention. It's like, yeah, I'm like everybody else. I do have pet peeves on certain things. When people lie to me, that's my number one pet peeve, is people when they lie to me. Boy, that gets me. But everybody has these little pet peeves. Everybody does. I make mistakes. I do things wrong. I burn my finger on hot surfaces when I know I shouldn't be touching it. I'm just like you. And just like you, I've had some odd experiences as well. And hopefully by sharing those experiences, you can help someone else. And you never know. You may not see the results ever. That's okay too. But I truly believe by sharing your experiences, you are helping. You're helping other people realize that they're not alone either. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. At least it's a big deal for people who have felt alone all their life. It's a really big deal. It really is. So, perhaps one day I'll see you sharing your experiences. I really look forward to that. And I do believe that sharing experiences is extremely important. It helps people like me that were lost in the dark. Really helps. Really, really does. So I hope one day that you'll open up and share your experiences. I've got some of my experiences out here in video form. Something else I even did was I even wrote a book. It was called A Starseed Lost in the Dark. It's on Amazon. It's got even more experiences in here. And these aren't stories. These are experiences. I have changed names in some of the timelines around, just kind of for copyright kind of stuff. But it goes through 5 sections. Childhood in that haunted house. It goes through high school, college, career, and retirement. Yeah. So there's resources out there. And you can do similar. Making videos on mobile devices is so easy today. It's so easy now to share your experiences. Hope one day to read or hear about yours. In summary, I've had a lot of experiences, from star seeds and near-death experiences and walk-in and all the psychic abilities, dark entities, lost souls, writing light language. There have been a lot of experience with me that I never could understand until I started hearing other people share their experiences. This is why I'm passionate about this subject. It's because it hits personally to me. It is the most important thing that helped me wake up. That's it. Hope you have a great day. Check out some resources. Join some meetings. Find a group. Find someone to talk to. And share.